All right, folks, welcome to Cat Talk. As always, joined by Russell Turner here, the editor-in-chief of the Greene County Herald and the Richton World. We're excited for another episode of Cat Talk. We're going to have our drum major, Miss Laura Turner, on, and then we're going to have two of our junior volleyball players on as well, talking about the playoffs coming up. But Russell, we just like to open up with the football game Friday night. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Man, when I talked to Coach King after the game, the word that came out of his mouth was barn burner. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly right, and you got to give credit to Baleigh, because they were with us blow for blow. And every time we'd hit them with a big play, they kept, what was the final score? 40 something to 30. 48 to 34, I think. And we opened that up at the end. But I was really impressed with our team in every phase of the game. Not that we necessarily just dominated on defense, because we didn't. They were able to move the ball. But it seemed like when we had to have a play, we got it. And two of those were fourth down stops. One of them right before halftime, which would have changed the complexion of the game if they go in and score. And it was down, they were down at our one.
That's right, yeah.
And then the next one was late in the game, midway through the fourth quarter, when they're driving, but they're in their territory, and they decide to go for it on 4th and 1, and we stop them.
Right, and that was the difference in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Our defense got a couple stops, and theirs really didn't.
That's
and,
right.
A win's a win, and a division win is a division win. So.
That's right. Well, and Mike used the expression an ugly win. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't necessarily call it ugly, other than the sense that, the penalties were a problem. And I like, Coach King's, if you haven't seen his interview after the game, I like what he said. A lot of those plays, they hurt, they bother you at the time, but at the end of the day, those are just kids trying to make plays. Mm-hmm. And he said, when that happens, I don't get aggravated about it. I think he was a little upset about offsides and things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought they played a really, really good game. It was a great way to start the region. And now we got to bite off an even bigger chunk going down and taking on Stone County.
Good Stone team. And, with our division only having 5 teams in it, one win in the division basically not 100% seals you a playoff spot, but it puts you very close.
Yeah. Whoever wins this game Friday night's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Stone's going to be a good team,
of
course. And but we're going to go down there and show a good effort for sure. I think we're growing. Mm-hmm. I think we're learning from every game, as we always talk about. So, big win.
It was a big win, and Mike mentioned too in the interview after the game, he was talking about the young players out there, and I know exactly what he's talking about. But when you get to this point of the season, those freshmen, they've got 5 or 6 games under their belt. So, they are growing. He sees it. You see it. Yep. I mean, you can just kind of sense it out there. And I do think that, we're going to, we get, Tate comes back this week on the defensive side, so that helps us on the defensive line. Keenan Franks has been cleared, and I think will play. Don't really know how much he'll play in this first week, but he'll be there for us. So, we've got some pieces falling back together.
Well, offensively, we've got weapons. I mean, B.J. Johnson is a
beast.
He's a special talent. I've been telling everybody what separates him is that he catches the 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
If it's him versus a DB, he's going to go up and make a play, and that's what good receivers do. And
absolutely.
Of course, KJ's been playing great running the ball, and when you add Keenan into that mix and some other role guys who have been playing good, of course, Kobe getting the ball to these guys and making good decisions, I think offensively we're in a good spot.
Well, and I pick at him, or I picked at Mike about it, but Kobe's kind of become a little bit of a dual threat, and that's a little wrinkle that helps. He had a 50-something yard run the other night, and it was no fluke. He outran 3 defenders from basically the line of scrimmage to the goal line, and so that helps. KJ moved over from slot and wide receiver to the running back. In the first couple of games he did well, but he got better every game, and he looked like a true tailback the other night. He hit, small gaps, he ran through them.
And man, even some role guys like Peyton Arrington,
he
give him the ball, man. Yeah. He's impressive with the ball in his hands.
Arrington had a touchdown. Cole Helton had some big plays.
Jace Matthews is getting involved.
Jace Matthews has a really high ceiling, and you got guys on defense. Jaron Brown, who had a big game. BJ, I think, maybe led the team in tackles last week and had the big strip from the receiver.
Yep.
So all the to get to the point, all the pieces are kind of coming together, and that's as a baseball coach, I've heard you say You want to be playing your best when you get to this point in the season.
That's right.
And I think we are.
Yeah, and like we've always said as well, those early season games are leading to getting ready for this time of the year, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I hope so, and it'd be exciting. And even if we go down there and get a win, that's great. If we go down there and we don't come back with a win, we play well, then you still got things to build on moving forward. But we want to win.
It's going to be a minor adjustment for us. Always tough playing on the road, but we've had 4 home games in a row.
Yeah.
So to up and go play on the road is going to be a little bit different for our guys and kind of gets them out of routine, and that's going to be a struggle as well.
I think our guys traditionally have done well on road games. And that has to do with good coaching too.
Right.
But you're right, having this many in a row and then turning around and having so many away in a row, I do think that will play a little bit of a factor for us. But hopefully our guys are loose because of it, can go down there and play well, because it's a big game.
And sometimes road games are just fun for the kids. I mean, I like them sometimes as a coach to just go on the road. You don't have to worry about getting the field ready. You don't have to worry about this and worry about all these things, or referees coming, and it's just sometimes it's a little bit easier to go on the road.
Just get to go, show up, might even get to go eat somewhere.
That's right, yeah.
What else we got going on? We got volleyball Saturday. We'll have the girls on to talk about that in a few minutes. We got volleyball against Newton County. Band is competing this weekend in Gulfport at the regional Activities Association meet down there. So there's a lot going on.
Basketball, soccer practice will begin next week after school. So that's something that's big for them to be able to no longer have time limitations on how long they can practice. That's always a key thing.
Good deal. So as you can tell, we got a lot to talk about. We've got some good guests coming on. I'm excited about them. I always love Laura is so interesting to talk to because she's so intelligent and she's so witty. So I'm sure she'll put you and I in our place at some point during that discussion. But stay with us, folks. We're excited about it. It should be a good show.
Yep.
If you've suffered an injury and are seeking justice for that injury, you don't have to leave town to find a personal injury lawyer. You need to call Joe Beard with Beard & Stewart's Attorneys at Law. Hometown lawyers helping hometown folks. Give Joe a call at 601-394-5900. And remember, go Cats go!
All right, welcome back to Cat Talk, folks. We are joined here. I really don't know how to act, to be honest with you. I'm sitting here beside 2 Turners, and I know this is not going to end up well, but we're joined by actually a good Turner.
A smart Turner.
A smart Turner, Miss Laura Turner, who is our Greene County High School marching band drum major. So, Laura, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the band.
So it was my 6th grade year, I'm going to say, and Christian Pope actually was playing the tenor saxophone at the time. And as soon as I saw it, I had always been enamored by the band. Like watching it perform on the field and in the stands, I just watched them and was in awe. I remember the color guard used to wear these big I don't remember what they're called, but feather boas, that's what they are. And I would call them feather girls. I'd point at them and go, feather girls, and I always loved the band. So I was finally able to try out and play alto sax, which is like the smaller one. And Christian Pope actually gifted me a tenor saxophone for me to play on.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just been from there growing and learning and trying to support the band.
Yeah, cool.
And Christian's still, following that band thing through, so that's great for him too. And it is interesting you talk about being a young person. I'm assuming you saw the bands at football games.
Yes.
And it's just such you can't separate high school football and the band. I mean, I know y'all have your own competition season and all of that kind of stuff, and we'll get into that, but to me, you just can't separate those two. One goes so well with the other.
Right. Well, what people don't realize too is that the band has to work really hard to make sure that what you see on Friday night happens. I mean, to keep in step with one another. I'm getting out of my realm of expertise here, but the marching aspect and the training aspect of it, in the summer, y'all work just as much, it seems, as other sports.
This week, to get prepared to be drum major, I actually went to Indiana for a week and learned how to conduct properly and do all the things that I needed to do. But I mean, the band, we go outside during our block sometimes after and stay until there have been multiple times where we've stayed until 5 o'clock in the afternoon on multiple days to prepare to go outside and do stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't compare marching band to a sport, I would say, but it can be.
Physically, anyway.
I might, being the argumentative person that I am, I could argue that because just the fact that you are marching, you're keeping time, you're keeping a routine, and you're blowing air at a high volume through something. I mean, that's athleticism.
So we have a competition next week, or not
This
next week,
Saturday.
this Saturday, yeah, so a few days away. And I mean, I've just been trying to explain all the things that my marchers have to go over, and just thinking about how many things that they have to go over is like bewildering, because it's, I mean, marching in time, watching the conductor, listening to the drums, making sure that you're rolling your feet, all of these things are super important. And so, I mean, you see what you see on the field, but you have no idea how much time goes into it.
I've watched you guys over the years, and my sister was involved in the band, and I can remember how much time she put into it, and it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating to me, and I do think y'all are athletes. I really do. I mean that in all sincerity. But it's cool though that the things are tied together the way they are, and the energy that the band brings. But let's talk about your competition season. Now, y'all had a kind of a warm up last weekend,
Yes.
right? And that was in Biloxi.
That was in Summit.
Okay.
So that one was kind of just to get like scores and notes from judges
Right.
to see what we can improve upon, so that this week is whenever we fix those little things, put our head down and work,
Right.
To get ready for state competition.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, tell us a little. Now, this isn't state competition. This is regional in Gulfport
Yeah.
this week, and you
Sorry.
have an opportunity to advance from that, right? Well, tell us a little bit about your show.
So our show is nightlife. So it's based on a night on the town, going to any big city and just going out and having fun with your friends. So it's 3 songs. 2 of them are very fast-paced, and the one in the middle is kind of a jazzy tune. And there's some acting parts where kids will just walk around and have fun. And like at the very beginning of the show, I'll turn around and do my salute, and the band will walk on stage or on to the field, and we'll actually like play around and like look as if they are not following and like being as they should be at attention and marching onto the field, but instead they're talking to their friends, very much like how you would do with a night on the town. So.
Y'all got pretty good reviews, right?
We have.
Yeah.
So last year, so the highest that you can get is a 1.
Right.
So it goes from 4, which is not good at all, to a 1, which is a superior rating. So last year with Mr. White, we had 2s, and with this year still we have 2s, which is an amazing thing, especially because of the new band director.
Right, changing
Who
direction.
came up with that system? Lower numbers, a better score. That's weird. It's like
Play
golf or something.
Yeah, I know.
Tell us about drum major. What does that entail? What do you do as a drum major?
So a drum major is the one that you will always see on the podium at football games, who is waving their hands in the air, and a lot of people don't know what it means. It's a lot of music theory that goes into it, and so it's hard to explain. But my job is to make sure that the band stays together. That is on the field and off the field too. So in the band hall, whenever we're going somewhere, just in general, I'm supposed to be the one leading the band.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be the figurehead almost.
Well, I know you love to play your instrument, so how has that impacted you this year? Because I know you got to wait to concert season to really get back behind, your instrument. Do you miss that part, or?
I very much miss playing my parts, especially because seeing the new kids in low brass is kind of bittersweet, because I wish I could be up there with them. But I know that it's better because, again, I'm moving on next year, so it's better for them to get that experience. But it is very bittersweet to see it happen.
Speaking of next year, we know that you have a great ACT score, very academic-minded, and made a 30 on her ACT, folks. So that's really good. In that scoring system, the higher number is the better. So, but Laura, what do you plan on doing next year? Do you plan on furthering your band career?
So I plan on going to William Carey, which has an amazing band program, great scholarships, just a really great school overall. I plan on going in to be a psychology major, but band will always stay with me for the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever come a time where I won't be interested in music in some way.
Yeah, Nick and I have talked about that in previous shows, about how with band and with music, that is something you carry on with you. At some point, baseball guys, church league softball's about it for them anymore, and then, so you kind of grow out of the sports, but you can carry the music with you for a long time.
I mean, my band director, or my assistant band director, Terry Slater, he is, I'm not going to say what his age is, but he is very much has played music his entire life. And I mean, as someone, soccer players, baseball players, football players, their careers normally end at like max 30.
Right.
And band doesn't matter how old you are. As long as you have lung capacity and can hold a horn, you will play for the rest of your life.
Actually, Laura, I would say 99% of athletes' careers end at age 18 probably. Wouldn't you say, Russell?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's your stat.
Well, it's been great having you on. I like the support that the bands get from the audiences at the football games, and I think that's always been something that's positive here. I love the fact of how your band supports visiting bands and how they support you. It's kind of like a fraternity, so to speak, where everybody's wanting everybody to do well. It's competition, but you want to see everybody do well.
Absolutely. It's never been a competitive thing, even with bands like our George County band. I remember going over there and visiting with them because there's still that competition of like Greene County versus George County, but we're all band kids. We all play the same instruments, have the same
And you're not really competing head to head. It's kind of like golf. You're competing against the course.
Exactly.
You're competing against, you're not competing against the other schools. So.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and just want to, tell folks that, as you've heard, they work hard. I know at halftime it's sometimes easy just to go to the bathroom and get a drink, but support our band. I mean, give them a round of applause. Make sure you sit there and listen to them because they do work hard, and they're a major part of our schools.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. Good deal. Folks, we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
Here's a scenario. Work has sent you cross-country. You drive 2,000 miles, eat something that resembles food, and seal the deal with a room full of strangers. Now you have a big old check, which means you hold in your hands the future of your company. But wait, you have the Singing River Federal app, which means you and thousands of others like you can bank wherever you are. So no more worries, except for whatever you ate. Singing River Federal, the better way to bank, wherever you are.
All right, folks, we're back. We've got volleyball players Layla McIlwain and Baleigh Keys on with us. Girls, congratulations on a great season so far. But this Saturday, things change. You got a playoff game. Tell us a little bit about your season so far.
We've had a really good season so far. Getting to second in district is big for us, and then hosting our playoff games here, that's pretty big too. So excited to see what we can do.
Yeah,
it's been a really good year. Like she said, hosting a playoff game. Baleigh, tell us a little bit about the success you've had. What do you think is the key to the success?
Our team just meshing really well and working good together as a team.
Good. Yeah.
You did. You had some new girls come into the mix this year. You had a couple of seniors came back that hadn't played in a few years, and they've been a key part of it. But a lot of young girls stepping up. And y'all been with the team for a few years, but you've got a few younger girls that are stepping up and being key to it. So how is that, shaping up as y'all start looking forward to being the seniors on the team next year?
I think it's good knowing that we can have those people who step up and take the roles that our seniors are leaving, and we need somebody there to really step up and take that place. And I think the younger girls are really doing that.
So have each of you been playing since your freshman year?
Yes, sir.
So this is your third year on your belt. That's important. That experience it goes a long way for sure.
Now, since we laughed at me earlier when I messed this up, what is the position that you play on the?
I play the libero.
Libero. That's good. Now, explain that. That's kind of. I've heard it explained that it's kind of a defensive specialist.
It is. So I sub in for anyone on the back row.
Okay.
So I get all the hard digs and the passes. I don't play on front row, but I get all the back row plays. So.
Right.
And speaking of digs, if you haven't watched a volleyball game, those girls are always diving and falling on the court. That's got to be painful. I mean, I watch it and think, man, that's got to hurt. But tell us about what it's like playing on that hard court.
I mean, that's my favorite part.
Really?
I really like getting down for those balls.
Huh.
But yeah, sometimes it hurts.
It looks rough. It does.
Now, do you wear elbow pads? I know Maddie Todd's walking around with had a cast on from where she landed on her elbow.
I don't. I mean, the long sleeves really help me slide
Yeah,
on
keep
the
from
floor.
skidding on the floor.
Speaking of Maddie, she's a big part of what y'all do as a setter. What's her prognosis going into the playoffs? I know she's been injured.
They thought she had a bone fracture, but they got her results back yesterday, and it was just a bone bruise, so she'll be with us in playoffs.
Oh, wow, that's great.
That is
Yeah,
great news.
That's great.
Great news.
Yep. And y'all are playing Newton County, who finished the 3 seed in their division.
Yes.
Don't know a lot about them, right? But that doesn't matter. We know a lot about us, correct?
Well, we talked about that, before coming on. Y'all played such a a really rugged schedule. There's tough reaching games, but you played in several tournaments, so there's been a lot of competition that y'all have already faced. So you really shouldn't be surprised about, by anything they bring to the table. But you got to expect that their playoff team, they're going to be pretty good. Now, I know y'all have spent a lot of time this season and in the off season working on your skill sets, your passing, all of those things. Talk to us about the technicality of playing volleyball. Nick and I, we can get out there, maybe if we had a little time, could learn how to volley a ball for a few minutes.
Maybe.
But, I mean, it's pretty impressive what y'all do. Talk to us about the technicality of the game.
I mean, all the little details add up together because you got to get a good pass to get a good set and get a good hit. It all really adds together to each other.
And if you've ever watched a volleyball game, I've noticed the communication is very important. Tell us a little bit about that, how that works.
Well, I mean, just knowing whose balls is whose. You have so many different positions on the court, so I mean, if you don't have communication, then you really can't do anything.
So for your specific position, is there like a certain area that you're in charge of? Is there a certain line, imaginary line you don't cross? How
Okay,
does that work?
so on the back row, whenever we're in serve receive, we have this little thing, and it's I got your short and I got your deep.
Okay.
So that's kind of how we do things.
Well, I think that's where playing together for years really starts to add up. You don't have to really, you communicating, but you're not having to say it. It's just kind of, a feel that you have. So, and I think that showed through this year, despite having some new faces out there. I think you were right. I think y'all did really gel as a team, and that's exciting. That's what you play sports for.
Yeah, and we're excited for you guys and making the playoffs and getting to host a playoff game and looking forward to seeing how far we can go.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit, real quickly, about yourselves. What do y'all plan to do after your senior seasons next year?
I don't really know. As far as college level,
Right.
I don't really expect to play at any college level. Maybe, maybe as a walk-on somewhere. Maybe like Jones has a new program coming up, or even PRCC. But
Well, I was more speaking about, your future plans, and I know you probably don't know those either because certainly at your age I didn't. But
We'll be breathing on.
I do think that with the expansion of community college volleyball, that is going to open up a lot of opportunities, if not for you girls, but some girls that are coming up, like all of those that are playing junior high volleyball this year.
Baleigh, what are your plans after high school?
I plan to go to South Alabama and pursue something in the medical field.
Okay.
Great school, great school.
And now, Russell, do you plan on learning all the positions of volleyball?
I know all 6 of them.
What position does she play?
She plays libero.
Good, very good, Russell.
See, I'm learning already. Listen, we do appreciate y'all guys being on here. We are excited about what's happened with the volleyball program and the direction it's going, and y'all have been a big part of that. You can't grow a program without girls like you, being good leaders and being good parts of the team. So we appreciate what you're doing. We're excited about Saturday night, and hope everybody comes out and supports them because, as we've told y'all several times, if you haven't come out and watched them play volleyball, you need to. It's a very exciting game, and it's really cool to watch because you might have an idea of what volleyball is, but when you watch it at the level that these ladies play at, it's a whole different ball of wax.
Yep. 6 o'clock Saturday night, this Saturday, October 8th, I believe it is, we'll be playing our home playoff game. So y'all come out and watch us and support the girls.
Good deal. And the libero will be the girl in the different uniform.
Yeah, she did not forget her jersey, right?
That's right. Good deal. Thank y'all again. Appreciate y'all being on. We'll be back in a few minutes, folks. Thanks. The mission of Greene County Farm Bureau is to provide you with unmatched customer service and attention. If you're looking for home, auto, or life insurance, you should definitely give Jared Lott or Tyler Bray a call to learn more about the full line of insurance and financial services they have available. It's easy to find out if you're getting the type of coverage you need at the best possible rates. Just drop by and see Jared or Tyler at 812 Main Street in Leakesville or give them a call at 601-394-2801. Hi, folks. Welcome back. It was great having everybody on today, Nick. I think it was a good show. Folks, just so y'all know, we rarely, if ever, give these young people any notice that we're bringing them on the show.
Yep.
We kind of like surprising them. So, and it's always interesting to see how they respond. It was interesting talking to the girls on the the volleyball team, about the progression that they've had this year. So, big game Saturday. For them against Newton County. Yeah,
and as we've already said, this is big for them, and we want it to be a great atmosphere for them. So y'all come out and watch that for sure. They, like you said, they were great. You can tell they're excited, and these girls just have a calmness about them.
Yeah.
Which translates onto the volleyball court because volleyball's an intense, fast-paced
Right.
game, and you've got to be able to shake off one play and just go right to the next one. And those girls, you can see why they're able to do that.
Well, and you're absolutely right. You said that. Even like when we played Purvis at home and had that loss a couple of weeks ago, you know, early on in the game, they were flustered a little bit. Things weren't going,
Yeah.
but they got it together, and that doesn't happen without leadership and girls like
Right.
Layla and Baleigh to help calm everybody down and keep everybody going in the right direction. So,
But if
you're
you watch them on
absolutely
the
right.
court now, when we say they're calm, they're not calm physically. I
No.
mean, she talked about they're diving on the court and
Yeah.
they're going all out. One of the things I love to see the most in any sport is somebody giving effort. You know,
Effort, yeah.
somebody laying out on that court and it hurts, or somebody taking a charge in basketball.
Oh, sure.
I appreciate those things.
Well, and all three of the juniors that are coming back, we did not have Madison Todd on with us today, but all three of those girls, when you watch them, letting the bell finish, when you watch them, they play like that. They play at a very fast-paced level. Layla and Madison in particular are just always on the floor getting digs and hustling. So, like I say, really cool thing to see.
Yeah, and then Laura, as you said in the opening, she's witty, she's smart. You
Yeah.
can tell that by listening to her talk, and passionate about what she does as a drum major.
You know, me and you talk about that all the time about passion. And man, does she ever portray that when she gets to talk. Just listening to her talk about her memories of her first interest in band, that sent chills up my spine just listening to
Yeah,
her.
that's right. And, talking about, possibly pursuing it as an adult 20 years from now, she's still going to be that passionate about music. You can tell that. So.
Absolutely. Well, like we've said, folks, and you've seen today, there's a lot going on out at the high school. Once again, Nick, we've enjoyed being here with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Anything else we need to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to put together a show of bloopers soon. Russell's had his fair share of them today, so.
Yeah, I'm deleting those. But we'll be back with you next week. We'll catch you up on what happens this weekend. But if you get a chance, come out and support the teams. Come out and support these kids. See what's happening at the high school. You'll be blown away by the students that we have on this campus and the things that they're doing. So come out and see them if you can.
All right.
All right, we'll be back next week. Take care. Have a great weekend.